find it very fucking weird that you're sitting here. This was your entire argument, and when we asked you to actually show us where it came from, you're like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna beat you with intellectual." Sir, you are lonely. Let's be clear. You don't have a girlfriend. That's the reason why you hate women so much. You live vicarious to the guy that hit that girl in the face with a brick. Let's be fucking for real. Because I think I argued with you before.
I hope no one's talking to me like that.
So,
excuse you?
Polyarch.
I don't even know who that is.
Hello.
See, it's funny how y'all remember people that I don't remember.
Oh, okay. The one with the Sean profile. Okay. Hi, Shag? The Shag?
Shagsworth, yeah, Shag. You can call me Tom, whatever you want.
Okay. What's up? Did you have something to say on the thingy?
What I was wondering if you might elaborate, like, so men are the root of all their problems, all of our problems. Like we are the root of it all.
Yes. So if you look at like let's just talk about like this weird version of stoicism that the internet has, or like genocide or war stuff. If you look at a lot of the complaints men make, for instance, in this, like we've had people come up here and talk about the men's self-unaliving rate. Mm-hmm. A lot of it leads back to practices that they put into place, right? Like this idea of having to provide and protect. Meanwhile, it's essentially just advocating for working yourself to death so some like white guy somewhere can make another $1 billion.
Oof. Well, I don't think that men necessarily put it on themselves that they have to provide and protect everything. I think based on genetics that we sort of, of the sexes, that men tend to be stronger and have always just protected the women who are the nurturers to raise children in order to procreate. The very basic function of a human would be to pass on their genetics to their offspring. In order to do that, most of the time, men protect and provide. It's not necessarily something that we set. It was just, well, we are good at this, and women are great at this, and off to the races. So I don't know if that's really. But
it's not true. It's not true, right?
Most of the time it is, though.
But it's not. There's this idea, for instance, if you go back to when we were cave people or whatever, that men, for example, were only providing. They weren't. Actually, women hunted as well.
Yes, I didn't say that they
actually
didn't.
Provided more. I know. I'm just getting to the point. Women actually provided more than men in terms of like food and even like shelter, because men were always hunting for big game, right? And you're not going to often come across big game, but what you will come across is like harvesting, smaller game, stuff like that. And so with that, oh my God, I just totally blanked for a second there because Allie just sent us a message. Sorry. So even with like that, I'm not saying men shouldn't like provide and protect or whatever. At the end of the day, to each their own, do whatever you want. However, I don't feel like it's something you get to like complain about, or not even complain about, turn and blame women for.
I don't think people I wouldn't say that they're complaining about the job that they're doing. Like as a father and a partner and a provider, like it is difficult, but where men start to get upset, and just from my own my own experience is that the lack of appreciation for what has been done when women take an advantage of them for that. Like we don't have a problem with providing and taking care of people, but the non-reciprocal nature of the relationship sometimes is what men don't appreciate or like. So I mean, I think there's a basis to complain. Sorry,
but how are women not reciprocating?
When they're expecting the man to provide everything and not give anything in return.
Such as?
Well, I mean, love and affection, again, appreciation for what they have. When it's just expected, like just give me your money, just give me this, like.
This seems like a projection. I'm not gonna hold you.
A projection, excuse me?
Yeah. It seems like you're projecting a bit. I don't know
you don't even know me.
Yeah, you're right. I don't. What was her name? What's her name? What's her name who hurt you so bad?
No.
Where you sitting here saying that?
No, actually, no, it's funny.
Listen,
I was
listen to what I'm. No,
oh,
listen
to
to
you.
saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Listen to me. Thank you. What's your turn? As I was saying before, I was really interrupted. It just seems like it's a projection due to the fact that someone, I don't know her name. It seemed like she hurt you by saying that she just only wants you. Apparently, you gave everything you had, right? And she didn't love you. And essentially, you decide to go ahead and put all women under this umbrella of
Nope.
Not
definitely not.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Well, it's okay to feel like it's that, but I'm telling you that yes.
No, it's not different.
Well, no, and you're not wrong.
What you're saying. It's what you're
well, hold on, you're not wrong.
So
I
was right with my assessment.
No, but listen, yes, but two things can be true at once because people have hurt me in the past, but I have the utmost respect
you're generalizing all women.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
You're not a one at a time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like women are not the woman that hurt you, whatever her name is. I'm so sorry that she did. It's not a monolith for the entire woman.
Right.
Entire women.
Same with men. Right? I would say men are not a monolith either.
Right. They are. Right. So essentially, when we say things like, "Oh well," the women don't want to return their favor. That's why I said it seems like you were projecting, and you admitted that you were.
No. I've had a bad experience in the past for sure. But that doesn't mean that I paint every woman with that picture because I realized that was an individual who we didn't mesh. She wanted to be taken care of completely. She didn't want to have to provide. But I ended that relationship because that's not what I wanted. I had a great role model of a mother who showed me what a strong, independent, awesome woman could be, and that's what I wanted out of a partner. And I found it. Because my wife now is an amazing mother. She's there for her kids. She's appreciative of what I do. And she takes care of her kids. And she thanks me. We thank each other for the work that we do. So yeah, at one point.
But I feel like doing the bare minimum is thanking each other for doing the bare minimum. Because that's what y'all, when you said your vows, the I do, that was all that for. So that's clearly like the bare minimum. I don't think thanking you for taking out the trash or, protecting our house if an intruder breaks in. If you're my husband, heaven forbid. But I don't like men. I think that doing a bare minimum. That's exactly what you said you were going to do in your vows, right?
I think that's something that we lack in society is the ability to even take the minutia in life and show your appreciation for it. You don't have to do it every time. Like not every time I take out the garbage do I need my wife to say thank you. No, not at all.
But what do you need to take out the trash? It's at the end of the day, like if we're talking about just taking out the trash, you're cleaning a house that you're living in. If you don't take the trash out, if I don't take the trash out, right, and the trash is not just going to get taken out. It's the bare minimum to keep up a clean house. It shouldn't be met with a thank you. It shouldn't be met with a, oh, good job, buddy. It shouldn't be met with any of that. At the end of the day, y'all are living in a space, and this is more than just a trash, let's be clear, but essentially you're living in a space where y'all are living in it, and the cleanliness is important. Because if not, y'all are gonna be dirty, right? So
no, but like the thing about relationships is that they're not 50-50, right? Most of the time they're like 80-20 one way or the other, and like basic variations of that. So some days I have a really, really hard day at work and I just can't give my all when I'm home, and I try and let my wife know that, and she will pick up the slack. And when she has to do a few extra things that I normally do, I say, babe, thanks so much for that. And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. And when you lack that in a relationship, the understanding that someday you'll pick up the slack a little bit more than your partner, then when you understand that, your relationship will be much healthier because you will appreciate the small things. You will say thank you because those things pile up. It is just trash. It is just folding laundry. It is just a couple dishes until it's all of those things at one time, along with 4 screaming kids, bills that are behind, you get laid off, all that stuff, it all piles up.
What I've been saying, right? And when it comes back to this is somebody has really loud music. I'm sorry. Allie, is that you or is it Chi Chi?
Oh, that's me.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Because when it comes back to it, right? When it comes to these relationships and things like that, we already know, like studies have shown that men simply aren't picking up that slack. Like we know this because let's be for real, and at least in the case of a family, most women are working alongside their husbands because capitalism and things like that. Everything is incredibly expensive. But the problem is that these gender roles that we have assigned, a lot of the time it's women aren't just doing their gender role now. Now they're also taking on the point of providing. So now it's not just being at home, being a mom, being whatever, and cooking and cleaning, but I also have to go to work. I don't think most women would have an issue with these stereotypical gender roles if it was the man is going to be the one to provide and protect as he should, and I'm just going to stay at home. But the problem is the man is going to provide and protect, but I too am going to provide and protect plus do all the other things that I have to do. So when I say men are the root of those problems, right? Who set up those gender roles in the first place?
Society.
Who has also
and nature.
Which by who? By who?
Just by
Men.
what we
I
needed
don't
to
know why we
survive
don't want
before civilized society, before we like really relied on like government, we needed to default to the proper gender roles. It didn't mean that it was 100% of the time. And that's where I think a lot of this gets lost, is that when I say that men should protect and provide and women should nurture, that doesn't mean all the time. I think the role just needs to exist either way. But classically throughout time, men defaulted to the role of protector and provider. They would go out, they would hunt big game, because big game is what allowed you to sustain longer. Yes, women contributed with foraging and trapping to some extent. What?
But it's not. Because again, it wasn't common to get. So the reason why they were surviving longer was because of the smaller game, was because of the harvesting and the foraging. I don't know why we try to act like women weren't doing anything. I did
not say that. You are putting those words in my mouth now. I did not say that. I said I do understand that women contributed in some ways with hunting. Of course they did. Some men probably raised their kids more. And I know that these roles reversed. Most of the time, that means over 50% of the time, men were doing these roles. And, really, again, to go back to the topic, the reason that we have a problem with this stuff sometimes is because the roles that, men get put in, when they are doing their job, and it's just expected of them to give this up for their spouse, that is the issue. We didn't make the issue. Society as a whole, in order to survive, we had to come to terms with this. Now things are changing and evolving, and that's totally fine. Again, women can do whatever they want. They can do whatever role they want. Men can do whatever role they want. But having the two, nurturer, provider, and, protector, you need to have that dynamic in order to have a successful family. I mean, most of the time, to have your highest chance, the highest probability.
Okay. Clearly, when I say it, you don't get it. So, Sean, if you would like to say it, Sean, when you're ready.
Yeah. Wasn't it the Shagsworth? That's your name?
Yeah.
Pardon?
Or you can call me Tom. Whatever's easier.
Okay. Yeah, Tom. Everything you just said is not true.
Oh, okay. Please tell me. And actually, if you have any sources you could have me look at, I would love to, because I'm actually really trying to learn more about this.
Yeah. You're trying to learn about it. Why are you up here? You know what?
What do you mean?
When it comes to, because you're up here talking about it, saying that humanity survived through like the roles of men, which isn't true. Like
no, they survived through the collective roles of men and women. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's what I said.
But you're talking about men playing the bigger role, though. So,
I don't necessarily think they played the bigger role. I think they played a role that required. Huh?
Then why'd you say it?
I said no. I think men and women had both had their roles throughout time, and I think they had separate roles for the most part. And
you're talking about how men's role played more into the survival.
I don't know if I necessarily said that. I mean, I'd be happy to be wrong, but.
So are you going to say that you misspoke and you didn't mean to actually say
I don't know if I misspoke. I don't think I said that men played a bigger role in society.
You said men. You said so society survived because men went out and got bigger game, and that was the reason why people were able to live longer.
Yeah, and then after that, I did clarify that men and women have their roles, and because they played both of their roles properly, that we survived. Like, men were provider protector, women were nurturers. They helped raise the children because, I mean, for very obvious reasons.
Right. So what you're saying right now is that, like, what are you saying right now? What is your claim right now?
That men are not all the root of all their problems. That it is 100%. Like, we do have some responsibility in our issues, but there is a responsibility on the other party. You know, and in this case, I guess we could just say women, or the man's partner, whatever.
So do women? Right. So do women uphold society's views on men?
Do women uphold society's view? What do you mean?
Do women hold? Let me rephrase the question since you don't understand it. Do women hold the power structures in which create the societal roles for men?
I don't think that men necessarily hold the roles that again, I said that society in general, a collection of men and women have established these roles that way before civilized society.
When it comes to the 90% of the world's governments, who holds most of the positions disproportionately?
Men, but for reasons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, cool. Excellent. So when it comes to the societal roles that are implemented through those like values within society, through laws, through patriarchal values that keep women from doing certain things, and systemic values.
No, but women choose oftentimes not to do those roles. It's not about men restricting it.
That's false.
That's not true. That's flat out not true.
Show me a source that women don't choose to do those roles.
Well, I mean, women oftentimes will go into
source. I don't care about your anecdotes. I don't care about your
Well,
explanations.
but okay, if we're going to engage in a good faith discussion, like, I can't show you my sources because I have no access to video and
don't have any sources, right? But I do have sources that show that women go out for these fields, but there's hiring biases within these fields due to systematic oppressions that created systemic oppressions that kept women out of these types of jobs.
But now there's the reverse of that. We're seeing that there is false. It's false. Oh, okay.
Yes. Because if it was false, then women would be holding those jobs, and you just conceded.
So how do we explain the DEI hirings now? So it will exclude certain demographics and be more inclusive to others. Are those not biases hiring practice? Huh?
That's false. It will not exclude certain demographics.
Yes, it does.
Only include other demographics. No, it doesn't.
Do you have a source?
Show me a source. Yeah, just show me a source.
Well, I mean, no, just by its very nature, you don't need a source to know that like affirmative action. Affirmative action is meant.
What is affirmative action? Explain what affirmative action is right now. Like, do the definition of affirmative action.
It was recently repealed in colleges because it was giving unfair treatment to racial groups.
Care about.
Well, that's your opinion. The Supreme Court decided differently.
Can I read the definition of affirmative action since clearly he's not going to?
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
Absolutely not.
I'm on my phone, so I'm not gonna type in what affirmative action is. I understand it. Wrong. You can just say that all you want.
Real quick, I'm not a screamer. I'm not finna scream over nobody. I only got one child. I need everyone to chill the fuck out. If you don't know the definition of what affirmative action is off the top of your head, I'm gonna need you to say you don't know the definition.
I don't know the Webster definition. Please recite it to me.
Affirmative action is a law, so you need to use law definition.
Affirmative action is an active effort to improve employment, educational, and other opportunities for members of groups that have been subjected to discrimination in the United States. That's what affirmative action is.
So the criteria of affirmative action includes race, disability, gender identity, sexual orientation, ethnic origin, and age. So it's not just strictly for race. So again, could you please answer their question?
Well, we just answered it, didn't we?
No.
The definition?
No. You mentioned affirmative action, right?
Right.
She asked you other questions.
Okay, then I didn't hear the question. What was the question you asked?
What does? Oh, go ahead, Sean.
What were the questions?
Find a source for what it is that you're saying. Because you said two things. You said that women aren't going out for these positions and don't prefer these positions. Need you to show a source for that. And you also said affirmative action excludes certain demographics. Need to show a source for that.
Well, I guess I can't right now because I do some research. So I just think, and we're also getting away from the initial topic of being is if men are the root of all their problems. Again, I don't think so. I think it's like going back to.
I think so. I think the men are the root of all problems if you look at war.
If you look at
capitalism.
But wait, what is
genocide?
What you're saying is that men aren't the root of all their problems. And then once we ask you, why do you think that way? You say things, and then we ask to show a source, in which you would come up with this logic, and you can't show us a source in which you come up with this logic. So naturally, I can just conclude that you just made it up. Like, you just made up that men aren't the root of their own problems because you don't want to think that men aren't the root of their own problems.
No, I'm perfectly willing to accept responsibility where it's needed. And I think, and this is the problem, is that I think that one side of the political aisle wants to make everything like a legislative issue, and I don't think it's something that's always easily quantifiable. And I'm sure there is statistics, and if I took some time, I would, I could find it, but I also want to stay engaged in this conversation. And I think a lot of it, again, goes back to, the non-reciprocative nature of some relationships where again, women feel that they're just owed a particular thing. It might be an issue of modern feminism. I don't know. What
are they owed?
No, I don't think anyone's owed anything. I don't think anyone's owed anything.
Right.
You keep saying that women have this idea that they're owed something, right? And when it comes to reciprocating, because whenever I see this topic come up, I'm going to be honest with you. Whenever I see it come up, it's men do the literal bare minimum. Women say it's the bare minimum, and men cry because they weren't told good job for doing the bare minimum. So that's why I'm asking you, what exactly are we talking about here?
I mean,
right, and just that, like, within this conversation, you, a man, didn't do the bare minimum research to defend your position that men aren't the cause of men's problems.
Well, right, I am. I'm defending for the reasons I believe. For the reasons I believe.
Right, but why do you believe that, though? That's the issue.
I just said it.
Whenever I ask you why you believe that, and I tell you to give me a source on the things that you're saying, you can't bring that up.
Yes, because I don't believe that a lot of these relationships are reciprocal in nature. I think that it's important that whatever roles are being fulfilled, that there's I don't know. It's not to say that men are blameless or that women are blameless in this. It's just I think there's a balance here that's just being ignored. Men and women both serve a purpose in society, and I think both are guilty of not being appreciative of what the other person has done and towing the line. I think there's a level, and again, both on men's side of things and on women's side of things, but I don't believe it's exclusively one or the other.
Let me go real quick. So essentially, Tom, that's not the position you had earlier. So, is it safe to say that you changed your mind?
No, it is the
position
you
literally
I had.
just said, no, it's not.
Because both things can be true, and I don't know why everyone needs to be so absolutist about this. It can be both sides.
I'm not gonna yell at you. I only have one child, and I don't even yell at him as much. So please let me finish.
Good for you.
What I'm saying is the argument. Yeah, good for me. As I was saying before I was really interrupted, is that the argument that you had was that women tend to not, I guess, then I'm paraphrasing here, not give a fuck about what men do because they need to give them a pat on the back or some shit. It was just very weird.
That's a gross misrepresentation of what I said.
I just said, didn't I just say I'm paraphrasing?
Yeah.
You know what definition of paraphrasing means? Okay, yeah. All right, cool, great, awesome. That we're on the same page or in the same book, in the same library, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I just think it's very weird that we're sitting here saying one thing and then we're backpedaling and saying another. Yes, two things can be true at once, but we're essentially saying, because the topic says men are the root of all their problems. Again, the reason why I say they are the root of all their problems, we look at capitalism, we look at war, we look at gender roles. Who establishes all of those things?
Well, since women are involved in government, I would say that women also are involved in wars.
Okay, but who has the most power in government? Let's be for real. What is the percentage of women in power in the government versus men?
I don't know. Do you know the number?
I think it's a pretty disproportionate.
Y'all are yelling at me for not having sources, and you say some shit like that and not have a source?
I got you. Hold on. I'll go look it up I'll go looking for since.
Okay, there you go. Now I got to look it up myself. You guys can't look up your shit yourself?
Can I finish? Oh my God.
I can hear you. Wait, Allie's trying to speak.
Go ahead.
Before y'all, I still sign off in Lulu. Anyway, just quick question, Shag. I want you to answer to Yu's question real quick.
Sure.
Who establishes the systems such as capitalism and gender roles?
Well, I think gender roles have been established, by our very nature and society well before, civilized society. I don't think that's something that men did exclusively.
What about capitalism?
Again, I don't think
capitalism.
I think capitalism. I guess you might be able to make an argument that capitalism was established by men, but it's still the best system, the economic system that we have to date. You know, in order to lift yourself out of poverty. So I would say it's a net win.
Well, I would disagree.
Okay,
That's fine. We can disagree on that. That's fine.
I did ask a question though that he didn't answer because he wanted me to look it up because he's not able to look up any of the sources on his own. So 20% of women hold the world's political power. So there's 80% left of men who is running the world right now.
Uh-huh.
So again, I asked the question, who has the most power in the government to make these laws happen?
I guess men hold power, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What the fuck was that? What the fuck?
Oh, sorry.
What the fuck was that? Child, anywho. I just find it very weird that we're sitting here saying we were just tap dancing around a point. So you can see to the fact that men are the root of all their problems.
No. Just because they hold power doesn't mean they're the root of all their problems. Like what how did you draw that line?
So how many laws do we have that are against people right now? People of color, trans women, trans men. I mean, how many laws do we have?
I don't know if any. I don't think there's any against.
You don't think so?
No.
500.
500
laws against trans.
That's just on trans women. Just trying to be.
This is just trans women alone. Them existing, right? So 80% of the power of the government power is men, and about 500. I think it's 520 something. Around roughly around there. So essentially, they're promoting the Hold on 1 second.
What is? But what do you mean by there's laws against? I guess I don't understand. Like, what is that you're not allowed to be a trans person? What? I don't get it.
Trying to prevent her.
Trying to prevent
her existence as difficult as possible.
Well, I don't. Okay, I don't really want to get into the gender affirming stuff because I think it's wrong. But I just don't. It's not what we're talking about.
Well, that makes sense.
That makes what?
Sense.
Why?
No, we're not even going to.
Never mind. We're not going to do. You said you don't want to do it.
Sean, what were you going to say? Because I saw you.
You can certainly exist. There's nobody rounding anyone up and getting like.
Tom,
yeah.
Sure.
You haven't watched the news, but okay, go off.
Sean wanted to jump in for a second. Sean, what do you want to say?
Yeah. So a couple things, like Shag, you still haven't shown any like sources on anything that you're saying. And I would love to see it because you're making like a lot of very positive claims. And they are extremely false, but I want to know why you came up with these claims to begin with.
Just living my everyday life and stuff I've watched or read. I haven't saved the things that I've read. Perhaps I should from now on.
Absolutely nothing.
Well, I guess so. I mean, again, what?
I have an argument, if you guys don't mind.
We're talking to Sean first. Please wait. And it sounds like you're in a wind tunnel, so if you don't mind, just stay on mute real quick.
Yeah,
we'll get to you.
I think Sean, was that it, or did you have more you wanted to add before we asked Charles his info?
No, it was just to bring out the point of it. It was like you're up here and you're defending a point that you haven't done any research on. You don't know any of the statistics for, and you're making like very positive claims, like gender roles were created by the very nature of human beings, with no source to back up that. Like, that's insane to me. Like, when you say things like that, and you say you know what the problem is, and you say that the problem isn't one thing, but it is another thing, you should be bringing up sources to show us why you think that way.
I suppose I thought we could engage in good faith debates where I can listen to what you're saying and I can make counterpoints. Like, I mean, we're not on a debate stage.
But you haven't been listening to what Ice was saying in the beginning. But I literally was sitting here this entire time. You literally ignored what Ice was saying. The reason why she brought up Sean is he could mansplain it to you.
Sean is a trans woman.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I do apologize.
But I did bring up Sean because whenever Sean speaks, people just listen to Sean. I think it's maybe like the authority. Sean sounds like an authority in the way that they speak.
I was listening to Ice. I'm happy to hear what you have to say. But
I'll repeat it myself like twice, Tom.
Well, didn't I respond? Didn't I respond?
No. No, you didn't.
Well, but she spoke and then I responded to it. I don't understand what. Maybe you didn't like what I said, but that's not the same as not listening.
You didn't engage in the things that I said, but it's cool. It's fine because Sean was able to get my point across.
Okay, and in the interest of good, honest discussion, I would like to respond to you directly because it is important that I hear what you have to say and then respond back. And I want to make sure that you do understand where I'm coming from.
I do, and I've been listening, right?
Okay.
But literally everything that Sean had already said is what I was getting to, right? Where is it coming from? The point about the hunters. You asked for a source. I did put it in the comments, but it's good. It's gone now. What was it called? But we can move forward while I look for this source. Hold on.
Sean, I do apologize. I just want to say that if you didn't hear my apology.
Sean,
I'm here. You're good. The reason why I asked for that is because, like, in engage in this debate and like good faith conversation around that debate, you need to have a reason as to why you think that way. If I came up here and I said Republicans bad, and you asked me why Republicans bad, and I said because I don't like the way Ted Cruz's face looks, you would think that I wasn't serious.
Yeah, but that's not what I said.
Okay, but what you said was a lot of positive claims, and then your source to back it up was like your own personal thought process that wasn't based in any like empirical data, any like sources or anything like that. You just made it up.
Well, I didn't make it up. Okay, sorry. Someone was talking.
no, it was just me. So I understand that it's
Ice, we cannot hear you. You sound like you're far away.
Oh, sorry. Is it better now?
No, it's a little bit better. She has to go wrangle her moose, guys. She'll be back.
Well, and to answer your question, Sean, I guess through.
Is it better? Let's move to Charles.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to go ahead and move to Charles real quick because Ice, your internet is still messed up a bit. Charles, how do you feel about the prompt?
Hold on for a second. I know it's loud. Sorry about the noise, but there's a possibility. Most likely, you have two options: either men rule or humans don't exist. The reason why humans exist is because of men always ruled. There's a study that shows women in dominant roles develop more testosterone, and higher levels of testosterone among women. Okay, you know what? Don't be. I understand that the truth may trigger you.
It's not triggering. I'm just very confused. Where are you getting this article from?
You know what? It's right on my TikTok page. It's a pin. It's a pin video. It has the study and everything. So
okay, women, I'm gonna get it. Hold on.
No, I got it. I go get it because you said you wanted
women dominant roles develop.
Hold on, Charles. Hold on. We have to go look up this article first before. Can he not hear me? Hello. Okay, thank you. Thank you for muting yourself. So we have to look at this article first before you keep going because we all need to be all on the same page, right?
Is it from Medical Express? Chichi, is that where do you have it from Medical Express? Or I haven't looked at his page because I was telling him to mute, but I'm gonna go do it right now. Hold on. Okay. Gender behavior and testosterone. Because I found one from the NIH, but I don't know if it's that. Human
biology. I'll hop back up when I have
that shows that there's more.
Yo, totally loud. I was about to say based.
Testosterone is typically understood to contribute to maleness, masculinity, although it also responds to behavior such as competition. Competition is crucial to evolution. It may increase testosterone, but also is selectively discouraged for women and encouraged for men via gender norms. We conducted an experiment to test how gender norms might modulate testosterone as mediated by two possible gender testosterone pathways.
The particular study shows women in dominant roles develop higher levels of testosterone regardless of behavior. And if you look at what testosterone does to women, it can make them more aggressive. It could have negative effects on their
Don't women
fertility.
have testosterone already inside of
No,
them?
no,
It's
I
just
said
not
high.
progesterone?
No, I said in dominant roles. I said when women, according to studies, when women are in dominant roles, they develop higher levels of testosterone, and which is bad for women, and it could have a negative effect on fertility, and they tend to be moody and aggressive. So it's not good for women. So when women are in dominant roles, it's not good for women. It's bad
Did you
for you
find
to
this
be in
study?
dominant roles.
I'm looking
And
for the study.
also,
It seems like it's just on a new. I'm trying to find
you
this
know what?
study.
I understand. I have a really
No.
good argument,
No.
but you just
We
got to
don't.
swallow
We
it.
don't really care about your
And
argument. We just
also,
want
it's
to know
not
how
my.
you use.
He goes, "You just gotta swallow it." This guy, I love him.
Can you, like, what do you mean? And
No,
we're
like,
see, this is
damn.
what I be talking about when you alpha
Charles,
males
we're
come
trying
up
to figure
here,
out your
because I think it's
study.
weird that you use the argument to say that women. Because I watched your TikTok, and essentially you're basically saying women in power are masculine and
found it.
unattractive, and I think that's very fucking weird. But you can't even point me to the article where it says that at. It just seems like it's just a regular
It's
think
right on my
ass news article.
page.
It's not a new. That's
Wait,
a
can you
think
guys hear
piece,
me?
sir.
Can you guys hear me?
Go
'Cause
ahead.
I found it, right? And then I actually went and looked for the actual study, right? Because, I click things. So I'm going to send you the actual study that he's citing, that this article is citing.
Which makes it just me.
I have more argument. It's not the only one, so you got a long ways to go.
Because this one doesn't make sense. It doesn't say what you think you're saying. So the article that you took, right? And then compared to the actual study that they're citing, doesn't say what you're saying that it's saying.
All right. No, listen.
So
The
what's your
article
other
states
argument?
that. All right, listen. I understand. I want to intellectually dominate you, but you got to let me talk without
What
interruption,
we're
okay?
not gonna do. What we're
I
not.
don't get
All
No.
right, so can
What
you
we're not
please let
gonna
me
do
talk
is
without?
that.
I
Absolutely
understand.
not.
Yeah,
What you're not gonna do
you're
is sit
very
up here and
intellectual, but you're sitting in
disrespect
your car
people.
yelling. So
Right.
anyway.
It's very. I just find it very fucking weird that you're sitting here. This was your entire argument, and when we asked you to actually show us where it came from, you're like, oh well, I'm gonna beat you with intellectual, sir. You are lonely. Let's be clear. You don't have a girlfriend. That's the reason why you hate women so much. You live vicarious to the guy that hit that girl in the face with a brick. Let's be fucking for real. Because I think I argued with you before.
I hope no one's
You
And
have
talking to me like
multiple
that.
times. So
excuse you?
I said, I hope you're not roping me into that bullshit.
Was I talking to you?
Oh
No, I'm
gosh,
making sure that you weren't, because I'm right here.
Hold on, hold on. I got you. Was I talking to you?
Yeah.
come on, Shag.
Okay,
No.
was I? So I
No, I'm
was
just making no.
correct you.
Listen, I'm just making sure. That's what I'm saying.
No. You don't need to make sure shit, because the only thing I do is check. I check boxes. You're this box and I'm finna check. The reason why I said what I said is because men like yourself are very fucking irritating.
You know nothing about me.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care to know.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I don't care to know.
That's the
I don't
problem.
care to know. At the end of the day, you put yourself.
I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. No, it's okay. Go ahead and let you go. No, it's
because
okay.
he put himself in a.
That's called being an absolute coward. So they just kicked me from the live. So they want to rope me into what they think I am. They want to rope me in with that guy who drops in and says that, women ain't shit and men are kings or whatever, which whatever, you can agree or disagree with that. I don't necessarily agree with all that stuff. But here's the problem with everything that goes on with these debates. It devolves into that. And then they say, well, I don't even care to know who you are. It's like, well, that's the issue, is that you would know who I am if you understood who I was. Like, there's plenty of women out there that I admire and I think are doing great things and that are powerful. But don't sit here and say, like, you're going to sit here and say men are the root of all of their problems. And, and Lady Boy there wants to tell me that, oh, well, you come up here and talk about this and don't have all your sources. Now, maybe you're right. Maybe to some extent you're right. I didn't bookmark a bunch of studies on why I think that men, and trust me, I will correct that. Because I do think it's important to have, some sort. But this is also the point. Good faith debate, right? Good faith discussions are, I hear your point, you hear my point, and you just take it as, okay, well, he's arguing in good faith. So I'll just take him at his word, and if I need to, I'll verify this stuff later on, which I'm happy to do. I write notes down all the time on stuff that people say. And like, but this is exactly where all of these conversations go. They go right to, I don't want to hear you, blah, 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 kicked, gone, later. These people don't want to actually have a discussion. They don't care about really talking about their side of things. They brought, you know how many sources they brought to the argument? Do you want to know how many sources they brought to their argument? Right there, 0. They brought 0 sources. But I have to bring all my sources. You're making the claim that men are the source of all of their issues. Show me. You just watched a clip from my TikTok debates that I do now during the week when I have time. If you liked what you saw, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, let you know every time a new debate goes live. Also, let me know down below what you thought of the discussion. Thanks.